How to choose a university in the United States. Hi there, my name is Maria Gurieva. I'm the founder of Studyamerica, and we help international students from all over the world get accepted to top US universities. In this video, let's talk about how to choose a university. It's very confusing at first, especially for international students, to realize how to choose a list of 10, 15, maybe 20 universities out of 4,000 universities. And in this video, I'll explain you all the criteria that you should think about before you make that important choice. Let's go. As I said, there are 4,000 universities and colleges in the United States, and it might seem very confusing how to choose a normal list of normal number out of this very huge number. So in order to do this, the first thing we need to do is realize what are your needs, what are your priorities. And for example, if I ask you what is your favorite song, then you can name your favorite song. But if I ask you what is the best song in the universe, then that's a completely different question, because many people will give completely different answers. And it depends a lot on the preferences of each person. What is the best song in the universe in the entire time is not the question that we can ask and get the universal answer. The same goes with the universities. And a lot of people, they go to the rankings and they think that the ranking will give them the answer. What is the universally best university that I should go to? But the truth is that for each person, a very different university in the United States would be the best of the best. And it's important to first ask yourself what are your preferences and what is your ideal college? What do you imagine? What do you think is important that this college has? Because you're gonna spend 4 best years of your life in this college, on this campus, and it's gotta be good. It's gotta be the best choice possible for yourself. So we need first to ask ourselves what are our criteria, what are important things for us, different things that we should think about in order to answer that question. So I will talk about how the universities differ so that you can also already start making your preferences. And the first thing that we should learn is that colleges differ in their type. There are 2-year colleges, there are 4-year colleges, there are public and private colleges. 2-year colleges are also called community colleges. And after that 2-year college, you can transfer to a 3rd year at the university and complete 2 more years and then graduate with a bachelor's degree. Perhaps you want to go in this path. Perhaps you want to apply to a 4-year college and you don't have to transfer after the 2 years. For a lot of people, it also becomes part of the strategy. Do I consider 2-year colleges or I don't consider them? I only consider 4-year colleges, which are harder to apply to, but they have bigger financial aid and you don't have to transfer anywhere. Also, there are private colleges and public colleges, and private colleges, they generally have much more financial aid for international students, but they're more expensive. And if you look at all the rankings, then the majority of the colleges in the ranking would be private colleges. But public colleges are much cheaper, even for international students, and they're also very nice colleges in there. So if for example you have a green card or citizenship, then you might consider public colleges because they are way cheaper for you than the private colleges. And they might have some financial aid for you if you're a resident of a specific state. So in terms of the types of colleges, there are already some questions to ask yourself. Another very important criteria is the location. And perhaps you are tired of 4 seasons and you're tired of the winter and you want to study in California where it's summer all the time. Or perhaps you are missing winter and then you want to study in a place where winter and autumn and fall and spring and summer, all 4 seasons are there and you can enjoy them all. Perhaps you want to study in a place which is very vibrant, which is has a lot of people, and you want to study in a big city. Or perhaps you don't like big cities and you want to study in a place which is not urban, which is rural, or even in a college town. So location is also very important. And in location we can talk about different states. You would prefer some states and you wouldn't prefer others. some regions of the United States. You want to study on the north, on the south, in California, on the west. And also we can talk about the size of the place where the university is located. Is it a big city? Is it something suburban? Is it rural? Or is it a college town? Thinking about this is also very important, because first of all, you should be comfortable in the place where you study. Also, it influences on your career choices later on, because you probably already made some connections. You probably started thinking about your career. Maybe you had some internships, and it can also influence on where you will build your career. So it's got to be a place that you would probably associate your life with. If you're seriously considering applying to US university and getting financial aid, then definitely check my free webinar, where I talk about how to get accepted to top US universities and get financial aid. The link is in the description. Another criteria of choosing a university is how large the university is itself. For example, there are small colleges which can have 50 people, and then there are very big colleges which can have 50,000 people. This is how different they can be. And there are very large colleges over 20,000 people. Then there are medium colleges which are in between 5,000 and 20,000. Then there are smaller colleges which are below 5,000 students. So it's also important to think about what would be more comfortable for you. For example, if it's a very big college, then probably you wouldn't have a lot of personal attention, and probably they will also have a lot of emphasis on test results. But in the smaller college, you will have a lot more personal attention, and they would be more careful about who you are, and they would be more diving into learning about your personality. So what is better for you? What do you think? And another thing is that even if a college is not small, then there might be small class sizes, and vice versa. The college might be not super large, but then there are large classes. And it's also important to check the student-faculty ratio and the average class size. In this way, you can also have an idea of how much personal attention you would be getting. The next important criteria to look at is campus life. And you would not only be studying at a university, you would also be living there and having fun. And it's important to see what kind of activities they have in there, what kind of extracurricular activities they have. Do they have Greek life, and is Greek life popular and important? Perhaps they have athletics, and you can look at how important athletics is, and maybe there is some particular sport that is very important for you. So those kinds of things can also give you an idea of how you would fit into college, and would you be having fun there, and do you like the activities that they have. They also might have traditions that you would like to participate, or you just hate their traditions, and it also might be a factor. It's also very important generally to look into the academics, and it might be even the very first criteria. But you are going to a university to study a specific topic, a specific field of study. Even if you're undecided and you don't know what you want to study, still you want to check out if the university has all the options that you want to explore. For some people, it's very important to not only what field they can study there, but also what resources they have in there. Do they have Nobel Prize winners teaching there? Do they have labs and stuff like that? So diving into the academic programs and seeing if they fit your academic interests is also extremely important. Besides, such things as the academic culture might be a thing. For example, some universities are known to be very competitive, and it goes up to people tearing apart the textbooks in the library so that other students don't have the access to the same book on the exam or during their preparation. The other colleges might be extremely collaborative, and then the entire culture is against the competitiveness. But you also should look at yourself, see if you're motivated by competition or if you're motivated by the collaboration. And that also can distinguish the universities between each other and see and show you which universities would be a good fit for you and which would be not. A lot of people look at the rankings when they are trying to choose their university, but rankings are not the best tool to look at the universities. universities, because rankings are designed using a lot of different criteria which have nothing to do with what your interests are and what your needs are. For example, some university might be higher in the ranking than the other one because they have more machines in their gym or because they have more books in their library. But those things are not important for you at all. So that is why it's very important to look in your interests and your preferences and needs and compare the universities based on your needs. And don't pay too much attention to the ranking, because a lot of people would choose the universities which are not a good fit for them at all, completely ignoring the criteria that I talked about before, because they only use the ranking, and this is a mistake. But one thing that you should look at is the cost and financial aid. And of course, it's also a very important criteria because you want to know what your budget is and if you can afford the college. Of course, a lot of universities have very generous financial aid, but you should also pay attention to that, because before you pick that university and add it to your list, you should see if they have financial aid available, if you can get that financial aid, and if you get that financial aid, do you have enough money to cover everything else? Do they provide full financial aid? Or is there a chance that you can afford that university after you get financial aid? All this information is also available online, and it's important to pay attention to those things so that you don't apply to a university, spend all this time, then get accepted, and then learn that you cannot afford it because they don't have financial aid. This is a price tag and it is way higher than your budget. So these were very important criteria on choosing the university. Please share in the comments what you think about it, and if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of very important videos about how to apply to American universities. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos or on my free webinar. Bye bye!